Welcome one, welcome all to DeFi Crypto and Airdrops, Crypto and Chill. With me as always is Jeff, the BCR142 from the Blockchain Report. How's it going, brother?
Going good. So we got another dip in Bitcoin today, getting closer to that 70K. So everyone's
Uh,
got their hair on fire. So
Dude, we'll get into it here in a second, but it just, oh man, just the unbridled emotion that's in the crypto market, and just, I mean, markets in general. The gold and silver bugs are, pouncing on this like a fat kid on a donut. There's so much going on, but we'll dive into that. How about you introduce the socials and everything real quick, and we'll go
yes,
from
yes. Oh, welcome everybody. I see the chat. We already got the chats blowing up. Good to
there.
see. Good to see. Happy Tuesday out there to everyone. And here at DeFi Crypto and Airdrops, where me and Mike go live Tuesday and Friday for our crypto and chill at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. We got some other shows throughout the week. Money Talks on Mondays, more traditional finance, wealth preservation focused. DeFi Masterclass every Wednesday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. And our Red Pill, which has been a lot of fun. Not crypto related, but kind of
We,
off the
we sprinkle some crypto in there. We
yeah, a
sprinkle.
little bit, yeah.
It's
Um,
mostly fueled by hate and conspiracy. And
yeah.
we season it with crypto.
Give it a little season, man. Give it a little
A little pinch,
spice.
just a little pinch.
Those are on Thursdays, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And we have exclusive interviews dropping. If you haven't seen the Canton COO, Shal Kafir interview, check that out. Canton's been pumping while this market has been down. So it's pretty interesting to see. And DeFi High is, I don't see it listed on here, but yeah, entry level DeFi Monday through Friday with Mike and David from DeFi University. And that's at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. And they go through different lessons each day. So getting in really in the nitty gritty of just like the basics and banks and how money's transferred and how money works and all kinds of great, valuable stuff. So check that out. Also, our brother channels, me at the Blockchain Report, Blockchain Basement, David, DeFi University, and Jake Call. And we are streaming on the Arena. So it's easy to set up. It's kind of like a Twitch meets Twitter meets YouTube. They have streaming, they have live shows, or what do they call it on Twitter? The I'm blanking on the name, but
What's
yeah,
that?
spaces. They
Oh
got
yeah, yeah, yeah.
they got spaces
Yeah, you
here
got
too.
stages. You got stages over on
Stages.
Arena and spaces on X.
Okay, yeah, stages. There we go. Great for creators and a lot of fun. And I'm also on the Arena as well. So check me out. And all you got to do is create
Oh,
an account. Is link your Twitter.
and
And
we got to look after the community too. Ellie has her Arena, and she'll be streaming later on tonight with me, Jay, and possibly Jeff, and some other
yeah,
people. We're gonna be in there, and we're gonna be causing hate and discontent and shooting people. And so come check out CLE Play
yeah,
at CLE Play on the Arena,
right here.
and there you go.
Where you want to go. Um, So Jake Call has Metrics Finance DeFi portfolio tracker and simulator. So it is free to start or to sign up. And if you find value in it, you can go to the monthly or yearly subscriptions. Also, David's DeFi University. I did a video on this and posted it on my YouTube, and I shared it on Twitter. And somebody actually followed me and reshared it to their community. And gave me a shout out. So that was cool to see. It
Are,
is
are,
totally free.
are people showing their junk to the community?
Yeah, showing their big D
Yeah,
fi junk.
yeah. It's all about the D.
It's
Fi.
all about the D. So this is totally free. 5 comprehensive courses and a bunch of tools and quizzes. And he does plan on doing an airdrop for people that complete this in the near future. But the only thing that it is chart that he does charge for is the daily live mentorships. You don't have to participate in that, but it is $97 a month if you want to get deeper into DeFi and formulate strategies and meet a community and get one-on-one mentorship. Mike and Taylor from the Monday show, they have their DeFi Wise newsletter that goes out Monday through Friday before the traditional finance markets open. So it is less than $20 a month. They get up pretty early to get all this alpha out for you. They get ranges set. They get market updates, sentiment, all kinds of alpha at your fingertips, so you don't have to go searching for it yourself. So great to see. And you can catch Mike at Veteran4Crypto on Twitter, me at the BCR142. And I saw this: when you live on a Bitcoin standard.
I was waiting to see how long it was going to take you to realize.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
You didn't have it up the whole time. It was all right. It's all right.
Oh, no?
No, it's all good,
dang.
though.
Damn. Yeah.
It's all good, man. I wanted to see how long it was going to take.
I was looking at this screen the whole time. I hadn't even paying attention. Yeah. Go through all this stuff. All the links are down below for everything. Damn.
It's all good. It's all good, brother. It's pretty much everything that he just got done talking about. It's in the links below if you want to follow anything or check anything out. Yeah. And over on the arena, like I said, just at CLE Play, and you can watch us play Arc Raiders and all kinds of different games.
Yeah, when you live on a Bitcoin standard and the price is down.
What is that? Like a little tiny steak, or like a itty bitty steak. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Oh yeah. Man. He bet that's like a half a second on each side, or it's gonna fucking be well done. Oh, that's hilarious. Well, here, let me actually, I want to share some stuff real quick before we get too deep into this. Let me share my screen. Let's see, where are we at here? Let's share that one.
Oh, smile today. I got a tip, maybe a tip. Just the tip?
Just for a minute, just to see how it feels.
Well, maybe with Flare, it might not be too good, but I don't know. I stake my Flare tokens on OKX. I get every 7 days the APY of 19 to 23%. I've earned 714 tokens, 6,000 to 8,000 tokens every week, like 60 to 80 euro.
I had Flare for a long time. Back when I had XRP and XLM and all the ISO tokens. And I actually still have a little bit that I keep on Uphold because they have something similar. Each month there's an airdrop and you get some of them. You got to be careful with that because it only matters that you're getting more tokens if it's a strong enough project that you feel it's going to be around long term. Otherwise, those airdrops that you're getting, you should probably be taking those as profit and putting them in stronger projects if you're even going to hold that project. With as bloody as these markets have been, I've been kind of reassessing some of the projects I'm in. I'm going to keep Moonbags, but I'm really thinking about consolidating. I still believe very strongly in Plume. Obviously Canton, Bitcoin, Ethereum. But there's some outliers, like Plume, that I'm just like, you know what? I just don't even care to hold a Moonbag of it.
Yeah. I started consolidating some stuff at the end of last year, and I'm kind of glad I did. I think it was a little bit before the big October 10th dump. So
that was good.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
So what you got?
What I got. Yeah. So basically, just like I guess right now there's a giant solar flare, brewing. So if Somali daycares and pedophile elites and crashing Bitcoin and crashing silver and gold and inflation, and if all that wasn't enough, now the sun wants to bend us over. So you know what? Just everybody drop them. Everybody drop them. We're all just going to grab our ankles and just take it.
Take it, take it.
What are you
Yeah,
What are you
every
looking
time the
at?
solar I'm trying to
You're
find
like
this
you're like deep in thought. I want to know what you were looking for.
I'm trying to find I wanted to bring up some of this the Bitcoin rumors that we have going
Yeah,
on.
I got some of that too. So, you got this. You got Binance is dumping millions in crypto to liquidate long positions. So this is business as usual for fucking Binance. I'm just going to come out and say it. Binance is a fucking scam. They control such a huge part of the market. It seems like October 10th, me and Drew were going to do an episode on it. We never got around to it, but there is a lot of evidence. It was the only place where that USDE, it was the only place it depegged. There was a bunch of altcoins that went to almost zero. One of them was Atom or Cosmos. It went down to like 1 or 2 cents, and it was the only place it did it. There was a bunch of people reporting that they had shorts and stop losses, or longs and stop losses, and their stop losses never triggered, so they got liquidated. There's
Mhm.
just all kinds of shady shit, and then not to mention, all the things that he got pardoned for before, and I guess there's new stuff coming out now, and now you got where they're manipulating the price of Bitcoin, and
Yeah, what
I
is that new stuff where he's because I saw some stuff that he's going back to jail or
I let's see if we can find out. I'm not going to comment on that because I didn't dig too deep into that. I want to make sure we get that right. Um, but then you got this. So you have all of the silver and gold bugs. And don't get me wrong, I own silver and gold. I freaking love precious metals. I have since I was a kid. Anybody that listens to the channel knows. I stack ammo, I stack gold, I stack silver, I stack guns, I stack crypto, I stack real estate, I stack food, I stack everything. I, it's just the smart
Mhm.
thing to do to diversify. No matter what, I know that I'm taken care of and the people I care about are taken care of. So that being said, all of this so far unsubstantiated, other than these documents that got dropped. Supposedly Epstein was helped fund Bitcoin, and so all the freaking Bitcoin haters have come flooding out, talking about how it's the pedophile coin, it just because one of the investors was Epstein. And so I promptly started going down all of the posts that I could, and just basically putting, okay, now do the dollar, now do any fiat currency, now do gold and silver, now do, rum, do anything of value throughout history. Bitcoin's been around for about a decade. The rest of those have been around for thousands of years. Look at all the shitty things that have been done with those things, slavery, human trafficking, drugs, you name it. It's like you want to zero in on Bitcoin because supposedly there's a bad person that helped finance the creation of it. Supposedly, we can
Yeah.
open up that Pandora's box. It's like that is the smoothest brained fucking argument I have ever fucking heard. That that Bitcoin is a terrible form of currency because it was used for something bad potentially.
Yeah. Jay said it's Peter Schiff and his alt accounts.
Right? It's just to me it's just ridiculous. And then you got this, pedo money and then God's money. It's like, yeah, God's money. Look through history. What have people done for gold and exchange gold for throughout history? Whole
Mhm.
civilizations have been wiped out in the name of gold or to acquire gold. I mean, people have been bought and sold. There's been slavery, sex slavery, all of that with gold and silver. It's yeah, don't get me started on that. Um, we got never forget that the Trump family bragged about making billions of dollars in crypto while they caused the biggest liquidation in history. Just in, President Trump says, "I'm a big crypto person. I help crypto more than anybody else. I believe in it." I have mixed feelings. Actually, you know what, Jeff? You go first. I got done ranting just now. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think the whole thing is silly. I mean, here's a Jack Mahler's the founder of Stripe, and he's what 21 Capital, I think, is what he's running. Kind of like Michael Saylor, um, trying to buy as much Bitcoin as possible. He's a young kid, but he said Bitcoin's neutral, open source, public utility. It's not a person, not an institution. It has no secrets. Although it does have quite a few secrets, like who is Satoshi. um, and the whole thing, like with what they were paying, Epstein was paying the devs or something like that, something silly. Um, that it doesn't mean you can. Or Israel was paying developers and stuff in the 2010s, in the 2010s, and you just, in order to take over Bitcoin, you have to have majority of the network. You have to have at least 51% of the network owned, and that's practically impossible for an entity to do
How
unless you
how
have
how much of the network were you saying?
51%.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, technically, wouldn't it be like 50.1 or something? You
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
control the majority. I know what you mean. I'm
Yeah.
being way too fucking technical here, but it's
It's silly. It's like
but I don't know. It's even if Epstein bankrolled the whole fucking thing, it doesn't mean that that anybody controls Bitcoin. It just
Mhm.
doesn't. If you don't understand the tech, you really shouldn't be commenting on it. I make it a point. That's why I don't talk about TA or technical analysis, not tits and ass. I know all about that.
Mhm.
Technical analysis. It's it. I don't do a whole lot of technical analysis because I am not intimately familiar with that. So I stay away from it. It's people need to learn that it's okay to not have an opinion on something. And I know a lot of it is engagement farming, but my thoughts are like Jay. It's I was on the Mario Nafal show today, and we were talking about a bunch of different stuff, and but the COO of World Liberty Fi was on the show, and of course he was talking his brand and stuff like that, and in my mind, it's I I'm bullish for adoption. My problem is I cannot get behind anything that and I support for president. If I had to choose between Harris and Trump, 100% twice on Sunday, Trump. I wish
Mhm.
there was another option because I probably would have picked them, but those were the two options. However, and he's doing a lot of stuff I agree with, but I digress. I cannot touch anything to do with World Liberty Fi simply for the fact that they fucked the crypto market. I know that this isn't going to be a popular opinion with a lot of people. Anybody that knows me knows I don't give a fuck. We're not monetized. We don't do this for money. We do this for love of the game. So I'm going to say it. Trump fucked us. Those of you that remember, the alt season was starting to heat up. We had the ISO tokens, they had just pumped, kind of the Dino tokens, things were starting to move. We were starting to see some positive movement. And then he launched the Trump coin and everybody, because he had just, got elected president. So everybody flooded in because they had that mindset that Trump's coming into office. He's going to be the crypto president, and all of our bags are going to the moon. So Trump coin came out and everybody flooded into fucking Trump coin, and he sucked the liquidity out of the fucking market. He made billions and billions and just basically sucked the air out of the room. The fire that was alt season got snuffed. And we all saw what happened after that. And it's not just his fault, but and then of course, they launched a Melania right after that. And it was just
Mhm.
the last nail in the coffin. But I just can't yeah, I just I hope that it's successful. I see that crypto, I don't want to be doom and gloom, because if you look at rwa.xyz, hold on, let's pull that up real quick.
Rawa.
Rawagzi. All right. So let's if you look at any data when it comes to DeFi and like RWAs, I mean, look at this. It gives no fucks what this market is doing. It is like almost nothing but up and to the right. This is the tokenization of real world assets, stocks, bonds, commodities, all of it. Real estate, private credit, U.S. Treasury debt, structured credit, hedge funds, you name it. Basically, anything that they want to make more liquid that's not liquid, they tokenize it. And this is the result. Everything is going parabolic. While the markets dump and like hemorrhage freaking liquidity, these markets are pumping. It's like, what is that? Inversely, I forget.
Proportional?
Yeah, proportional, inversely proportional to the price of everything. This is what I'm watching. Anybody that, talks to me or watches the show, I'm just as bullish as I always am, because I pay attention to what they're building. I pay attention to what the institutions are buying and what projects they're building on. Canton Network. We've been talking about Canton Network from forever ago. Before the token even launched. So, back before it was even popular, when nobody was talking about it. I think there was one or two other channels that I saw it mentioned on. And they've been around for a decade. They've been building in silence, and they launched with $500 billion in TVL. So I'm bullish on crypto. I do not care what comes out in the news. The news is emotional. The news they use to manipulate you. I am not paying attention to that at all. I am buying Bitcoin. I am buying Ethereum. I am buying Canton. I am buying Link. I'm buying Aerodrome. And to a smaller extent, I'm still buying Plume, because the ecosystem that they built with, for RWAs and for DeFi, where, just the amount of choices that you have for, advanced strategies, looping and, borrowing and then taking that.
I gotta take this phone call real quick.
Oh yeah, go ahead. You know me, I'll just keep rambling. But actually, you know what? Let's see what the chat has to say. Yeah, Wispy, the market would be a lot better if those two coins never happened. What do we got here? DCA and Prey always has some fresh takes on things. Only time I dealt with anything World Liberty Fi was with Hut 8 mining. They invested in World Liberty Fi, but I was buying Hut mining way before that came up. I am mostly sold out of it now. Okay. I don't know anything about that. But actually, you know what? Let's touch on this real quick while we're waiting on Jeffafafa. Where is it at? Somebody was asking about the Braun wallet. So let me bring up the Braun wallet. So this is a small position that I have where I'm earning free Canton. And I hate talking about this, because the more people that get into it, the less that fucking I make. But I'm like that. I fucking shoot myself in the foot to help people. All right. So this is the Braun wallet. You can download it. And if you have Canton, then you can deposit. If you deposit 10,000 Canton tokens or more, and you buy 10,000 Braun tokens or more, you can get involved in this. And so basically what it is just by holding it in your wallet, there's no locks, there's no staking, there's nothing like that. This is just a wallet. By holding those in your wallet and opting in, then you can earn. So like each day, I earn about 40 or 50 free Canton tokens. And it doesn't seem like a lot, especially since Canton's only like 17 cents right now. But every single day, like clockwork. I earn those, 50 or so tokens. And then, you multiply that by 30 and you got 1,500. So I'm earning 1,500, and that's just at 50 tokens. I'm earning around 1,500 free Canton every month for doing nothing other than holding the asset that I can sell at any time. So this is why I stay bullish. Is those of us in crypto, those of us in DeFi, we understand and we are able to take advantage of earning no matter what the market does. People that are hodling, they're counting on the fact that token go up. If token goes down, it's frowny face. If token goes up, it's happy face. For us in DeFi, it doesn't matter what it does. Up, we're happy. We get price appreciation. Whatever tokens that we stacked when the market was going sideways and going down, we now realize profit off of that free crypto that we stacked. If the market's going sideways, we do tight ranged liquidity pools to where we earn higher yield. If it's just boring, flatlining, crypto projects, we just make a tighter range. And instead of, making 50% APY, we make, maybe 100 or 150% APY. That is why we stress so strongly on this channel and why, we got with David and are doing that free, 100% free entry level DeFi course. And I'm talking basic, like, nothing about crypto. You can take David's free course at DeFiUniversity.xyz. You can go through his free course. It's a structured course with quizzes and everything. You can take his free course and watch our show and become intimately familiar with crypto and DeFi. And I know that there's not a lot of people interested in it right now. I mean, look at, how many people are watching right now. People are beat the fuck down. And anybody that's not in crypto, there is nothing that is drawing them to crypto right now. We aren't going anywhere. We're going to keep putting out content because, again, I see where this technology is going. A lot of content creators are getting fudded out right now. I mean, I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want to throw shade because I respect anybody that's, still in this fight. But there's some very large channels with millions of, subscribers, and they only have maybe 100 or 200 people watching their live shows. So, if you're a small creator out there, keep grinding. If you're putting good quality alpha out there, keep grinding. This is the time that is going to make you, coming out when crypto's popular, everybody's going to go to those large channels. It's just where the algorithms take them. This is where you build your foundation. If you're an investor, if you're a content creator, this is the time to get into crypto. This is the time to get into investing. Gold and silver is down right now. I don't know if I would buy into it at this level, but I was buying silver at $5 an ounce. I'm an old fuck. So, stay not objective, but stay grounded. Don't allow your emotions to dictate your actions. Realize your emotions, let them register, but don't allow them to make your decisions for you. So anyway, where the hell did you go, Jeff? Holy shit. Oh, I better not talk shit. Hopefully it's not a bad phone call. So I'll fucking keep my mouth shut. Hey, fucking Hoofty, what up, brother? So Hoofty, my boy Hoofty, we've been hanging out for about 5 years now, like 4 or 5 years now. Me and him, we used to hang out in Good Morning Crypto. It's an XRP maxi channel. And back in the day when I was in the top 2% of XRP holders, I had like about 40,000 XRP. And I sold it. I was buying it in the 30 cent range. And when it hit $2, I was like, I'm out. They had launched RLUSD, and I was like, and I'm done. But yeah, we've been hanging out for a while. He's a good dude. All right, let's check it out. Matt, if you want, jump in here, brother. I invited David and Colin. I don't know if Colin got the message, and I sent David a link, but I was wanting to get some some big brained insight into these markets, and see what see what Colin, he's an OG. Those that don't know, he was one of the original people at Avalanche, like one of the founders, I think. And David, I mean, that guy's like, he's freaking Rain Man when it comes to freaking DeFi. So I was wanting to get their take on stuff. Really? You're done with XRP too, Hoofty? Holy shit. All right, you might have to fill me in on that. I want to hear that story. Yeah, Matt, jump in here, brother. Actually, you know what? I'll send you a link. Hey Jeff, take over. I'm gonna fucking get Matt in here. Get his fucking ADD energetic ass in here. Malik. All right.
Oh yeah, you were talking about Canton earlier. So I don't know this fire blocks. Let's see. Oh. I don't know what Fireblocks is, but they've integrated Canton Network, allowing financial institutions to custody and settle assets on the privacy-enabled blockchain through the NYDFS, the New York.
Hey Matt, check your X direct messages. I just sent you a link to get your ass in here. Get your sexy ass in here, Matt.
So yeah, Canton, man. Oh, I wanted to show the Canton chart too. I mean, it's holding up pretty well. Although you got a little bearish divergence on the daily, so we might have a little pullback, but man, that's looking nice.
Man, the fucking freaking arena chat's going fucking nuts.
Arena. At least said it's his Tinder date. Wait, who? Matt said he was buying at 15. What was he buying?
That's what I was looking at. I'm guessing that he was buying silver.
Oh, silver.
I'm guessing. Because if he was buying Bitcoin or something like that at 15.
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Canton, I would love to have a better understanding. And it's kind of why I really want to talk to a quorum of people. I want to talk to Matt, or not Matt. I want to talk to Colin, and I want to talk to David, and ask them directly, and just let them fucking run with it as long as they want, because those two will fucking go at it forever. I want to ask them why they think that Canton is holding up the way that it is compared to the rest of the markets. It pulled back a little bit today, but for the most part, it's in price discovery right now. I mean, it's it's broken its all-time highs, and it's been doing if you look at it, if you look at the Bitcoin Canton pair relative to Bitcoin, it's been fucking it's been like up and to the right, basically. And we can pull that up here in a second, but
wait, Canton Bitcoin?
Yeah. If you can pull that up, pull up that pair. So Smile today, there's like 4 tiers. So you can do 10,000 Canton and 10,000 Braun, and that earns you, like a certain piece of the pie when it comes to the amount of Canton that's issued out each day. Or you can, I think it's 100,000 is the next level, and then 250,000, and then 1 million. So it doesn't matter, like, if you have 10,000 of Braun and 10,000 of Canton, or if you have 11,000 of each, it doesn't mean you earn more. There's levels. So, if you have, 90,000 and 90,000 and you earn enough to where you break into the 100,000 bracket, then you start earning more. But it's, it's not like the more you have in there, the more you earn. I hope that makes sense. What? Well, Hype is a good project. Swapped Arrow for Hype. Base level token. Don't want to be part of that. If you could, and I'm not hating on you, if you could, Sleepy Hollow Crypto, maybe explain your logic behind that a little bit, because I am probably one of the biggest fucking arrow bulls out there. And with the new platform coming out and the new token and it being multi-chain and the fees that it's been earning, even in this fucking down market, and the market share that it's taken away from Uniswap, I don't see how somebody can, if you're in crypto, if you're going to stay in crypto, if you're going to get out of crypto altogether, I get it. But if you're going to stay in crypto, Arrow is probably one of the strongest projects to be in.
I can't find the Canton Bitcoin pair.
That's why I'd love to have David here. Like I said, I'm not a TA guy. I do not understand training view at his level. And I'm sure he'd be able to pull it up. Because remember when we were talking about silver and he was like, type in SL exclamation point, backslash. And it was, I'm not that guy. Hey, what's up, Nick?
Yeah, see, ETH BTC. Yeah, the trading pairs should be on here because that's ETH BTC, XRP BTC. Yeah, but I don't see it. There's no Canton Bitcoin pair on here. Oh wait,
Colin just said give him a second. His computer's giving him a hard time, so he's about to jump in here.
Nice.
I'm sure as soon as Colin jumps in here, his lady Hapu will probably magically freaking appear. She has a way of knowing whenever he's on.
Mm-hmm.
We love us we love us some Hapu though.
Let's see.
Wispy, you're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy. No, dude, I'll be the first one to admit if I don't know something, I'm not going to pretend like I do. And that's why I love, kind of what me and Jeff are building here is he is the subject matter expert on airdrops. I am, basically, sharing my journey, learning about DeFi and investing. And, I'm really good at doing research. I'm very focused. I'm very disciplined about, doing research and projects and things like that. But my strength has always been putting together strong teams. So seeking out subject matter experts and putting them in the same room together to accomplish great things. And, that's how we found David. We ran across, Colin, we ran across Matt, we, ran across, Drew. It's just, we're all about, and Jake Call, he's, another Taylor, my brother Taylor, who's a, highly successful businessman, owns his own law firms and title companies, Texas Jeff, who's been in TradFi for decades, very successful in his field. Kevin, who is the one that I interviewed that's about to do the tokenized hedge fund for, legal fund, that you can earn 20 to 30% yield, APR on. I just for some reason, I'm able to get people like Shaw, the former COO and co-founder of Canton Network, even with our small channel. That's my strength, is I'm able to find and put together great content for all of you. And so, we all need to understand our lane. We all need to understand, our strengths and our weaknesses. I find people where I'm weak and let them be the subject matter expert. None of us can be, fucking intimately knowledgeable about everything.
No. I mean, if you do, you're probably 80 years old.
I don't know where Gina is. I know she's been live streaming a lot, but yeah, I haven't heard from her.
She's been grinding, working hard. Dude, those
Actually,
fucking 5-hour streams are crazy, dude.
Elise, it's I actually was a recruiter. I was an army recruiter for a couple of years. I know, shocker, right? I got a silver tongue and I'm a quick talker.
Yeah. The gift of gab.
Honestly, I haven't always been like that. Believe it or not, for a long time, I was a big introvert. I was actually really shy.
So it was the military service that brought it out?
Yeah. No, it went a long way with like building confidence and things like that. Because yeah, when I was younger, I was very, very shy. And yeah, the military, just doing the things that you do, and the physical things, the mental things, being forced into positions. And this is like another great life lesson, is pushing yourself into positions that are uncomfortable, not dangerous or damaging, but uncomfortable, is how you grow. That is how you improve as a person, both mentally and physically. No one improves staying in their comfort bubble. If you push yourself, like working out, working out isn't easy. That's why you get the positive results. And that's why not everybody does it. Working longer hours, getting out there and, putting yourself in uncomfortable situations socially to meet new people and, open new doors and opportunities. Putting in for jobs that maybe, you don't feel like you're qualified for. I can't tell you how many jobs that I got that I had zero experience, like high level jobs, like COO jobs that I've never run companies before, but they looked at my resume and saw what I did in the military. And it's just, you need
Testing,
to understand.
1, 2, 3. How we?
We
Sorry.
are doing great.
Sorry.
All right, I'm going to turn it over to you guys.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I just got here.
I know. No, I was just fucking getting a little buzz, and so I was getting on my soapbox and just kind of giving some advice. That nothing good. Nobody ever grows or improves upon themselves physically, mentally, professionally without pushing themselves out of their comfort zone.
Yep. I could give anecdotes to that, but that's just what that's
roll with it, brother.
Okay.
We're chilling tonight. If you want to talk about crypto, if you want to talk about life.
I mean, I'm so iffy on crypto right now. I can't lose any more money. I decided I was gonna just like capitulate on this upturn to 75 and see where things go. I figure if I lose a few percentage points in growth at a loss from my purchase price, then who gives a shit? But losing more money is just out of the question. So holding cash right now, and that's where I'm at with crypto. But that's definitely out of my comfort zone, because normally I would like hold this shit to infinity. But can't know right now, which is not helping the markets, and clearly I'm part of that problem. But I could lose 10% from growth. Hey, it bounces back up, and won't care if it goes up even higher, right? But what I can't do right now is lose more. So that's kind of where I'm at. Are
you doing all right as far as not financially, but are you doing all right?
Yeah, it's hard to watch this. It's not a good feeling. And my comfort zone is to be like really into crypto, right? To believe that this is going to go somewhere. But once these big players start getting involved, I don't know what they're doing. And to them, this is a small market cap meme coin. But the very fact they're involved with it is good. But to them, this is a small market. All of them, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all of them are basically meme coins. So I don't know what the transition will look like, but it's very clear they have an interest in what's going on here. And it's either they want it to go to zero because it's a threat to them, or they want their version of this to go up, or they're really actually interested in what it currently is and want it to go somewhere as well, and they're just trying to snatch up as much as possible. In which case, I'd look at the liquidity depth, and it's really high on the higher up on the chart is deep depth on the heat map. You know, glass
Ceiling.
Yeah, .com, and look at the heat, the depth. What's it called? Glass node.
Yeah.
Fuck your brain. My brain's not working right now.
Don't worry about it. Happens to be
So, literally, you can look at the depth up there. It's very concentrated up top, which you know, is good. It does look like there will be another upshoot at some point, right?
I got to put this up really quick. Deadwood. I started out with nothing. I still got most of it left.
Nice. See, no losses. Anyway, nothing gained, nothing lost. Yeah, but you look at it, it's very concentrated up top, but there's still some bands of things that need to be flushed out at the bottom, and as it's going down, people keep dropping like deep longs. And every time they do that, it just pushes the price down even further because they can't let a deep long survive. And so I'm looking at this going like, what's going on? I'm trying to figure out the picture, but because I don't know, and I've been wrong so much, it's kind of at the point where I'll lose a couple percentage points to make this better. Dude, seriously, Jeff, your eyes, you look like you just saw a ghost. It was fucking what do you no. So like I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. Like I didn't dump the arena. The arena is my exposure. I wanted
to ask you about something interesting. So I got the Linea airdrop last year, right? And it was in my wallet that I got. I had a compromised wallet a couple years ago, and this
on the arena.
No.
Oh
no.
Okay.
Nick says that you're microdosing, Jeff.
Yeah. No. So I was farming an airdrop, and my wallet was still connected to this testnet DApp. And
yeah.
Their front end got hacked.
Jeff, I'm sorry. I'm gonna interrupt you again because I'm fucking Nostradamus. Colin came on and fucking poof. Here's Hapu.
Oh yeah, I told her I was coming on. Yeah, everybody go follow Hapu. Like she lights up my life. Like you could see me smile just thinking about her. It's yeah. I've been waiting. The only problem is she lives in Finland. I went to Finland. I met her. We vibe in person. Everything's good. It's just, you know, I'm not moving to fucking Finland. So like she's got to become an American citizen. That was never on her to-do list. And now she's got to like figure all that out. And
be a dual citizen, bounce back and forth, or just bounce back and forth.
Well, I mean, I'd like to get her so she doesn't have to stay here, like, because there's visa stuff. You can't be here for more than 90 days, and like, yeah, she has to get a card, a green card at least. You know, she has to get a K1 visa.
Me, and we'll just like she can fly into Canada, and we'll just fucking go for a hike, pick her up, and.
Bro, you're on the other side of the country.
You just need to move.
Oh, I see what you mean. But no, you know, if you leave and then you come back, you can't spend more than 180 days in the country. And if you leave and come back, you have to. You basically, they kind of at a certain point go, "What are you doing here?" And
I'm just saying officially, she'd never be here.
Yeah, but that's Canada too. That's another cold place. But yeah, anyway, I'm looking at the crypto markets. I'm going, what is happening? And this is the first time I've ever had like I had almost certainty yesterday that things were going to go back up. and they still might. The ISM data looks really good. I keep saying MSI. The ISM data looks really good. I got like minor dyslexia. It's not like, I don't know what it is. I can't tell my lefts and my rights. Sometimes I'll say up when I mean down. I don't know what that's about. But the ISM data looks really good. They came in at 52.6. It's pretty hot for ISM, but it's not like correlated to actually like crypto in any way. And a lot of like the previous pumps were like, I think ASICs based, right? Like that's probably why the ISM data was correlated to crypto before, but I don't know if that's true this time. And so I'm there's just a lot going on. And I'm kind of like, ugh. So anyway, want to talk about nothing ventured, nothing gained, and going out of your comfort zone. I've done that multiple times in my life, and it's never always paid off. Huh?
What's his name? You said you went
Charles
out a couple times in your life. What was his name?
Yeah, Charles. And the shocking part is I liked it, but I wasn't attracted to him. So anyway,
I tried it 3 times just to be sure.
Chuck in the butt, man. Anyway, yeah, looking at you, Hoskinson. Anyway, anyway, no, that's rude. I apologize. That was not Charles Hoskinson. I just picked a guy, picked a name. All right. So okay. There's a huge history in my life, and it's always like a major move. I never do anything small, never have. And I don't know if I can. Like, incremental things aren't my style. I make a decision and I go head first, right? And so I've done it a lot. I mean, like, I took a job that was paying 30 grand less than the top offer so that I could be the sole employee and build the entire company's tech stack from the ground up and basically cram 8 years of education into 4. And I built everything, like, until we got like the point where I couldn't, and then we hired a server admin, and that's it. And then as soon as they started to add more people, I'm like, I'm out. So I moved on to my next thing, which is start a company, because I had a novel algorithm for video processing, video fingerprinting, because there was a huge problem with copyright at YouTube at the time. And I went headfirst in trying to develop this, so I threw up a company called iQualia. Never ran a company in my life, ran this one into the ground, right? I had no idea what I was doing, and I had no real mentorship that would help me. So I did get like flown out. I got flown out. Go ahead.
I mean, you probably know plenty of people, but I mean, I've been
now.
I've been like the COO of a couple of companies, and I can run people and stuff. You know, operations is like my thing. So if you ever need help, I mean, I'm more than happy to help for free.
Well, this was back when I was in my early 30s. I'm 43 now. And so that was 4 years of my life. I quit my job. I had no money. I had a house. I almost lost my house twice doing this. So, like I put everything on the line. Eventually, I went back to the company that I first started with. By the way, it wasn't that it was bad. It was that I was bad. And so nobody would invest in me. I was smoking 2 packs a day. I was drinking like a fish. I looked like shit. I was 300 pounds. Like, there's a lot of reasons.
Huge part of startups is people aren't necessarily like watch Shark Tank. A lot of times they're not investing in the idea. They might love the idea. They might love the concept.
Person's not there yet.
But the person, like, and you'll see it multiple times. They're like, your head isn't right. There's some lessons you still need to learn before you run this company. And
honestly, like, those lessons sometimes are learned through failure. So I think the next time I do it, I could be okay if I had an idea that I think would work. I could handle it. But in this particular case, I was not there yet, and I had a lot of personal stuff to resolve. So I did. But I went back to the old company. That was very uncomfortable, but it got me back on my feet. But a year later, like, I jumped headfirst into crypto. Like, I had $250 to my name. I had been looking for a crypto job for 2 years. And like, I thought there would be a crypto job. There wasn't any. Everybody's looking for like a Bitcoin, 10 years experience modifying the Bitcoin core, and Bitcoin had been out for 10 years at that time. I had already worked with the Ethereum folks, so a little bit, not a lot. I'm not going to overplay that, but I did know like Fabian Vogelsteller from the Ethereum group. He's one of the founding co-members of Ethereum, and the creator of the.
honestly, you're the biggest OG that I know. You know,
there's bigger OGs than me for sure, but I was there.
My limited exposure to this market, you know, I'm not a major influencer or anything, but I mean, so far that I've met personally, and like went back and forth in private messages and stuff. 'Cause me and you chat all day. I mean, like you're one of the dudes that's the most deeply ingrained in crypto that I speak with.
Thanks, or I'm sorry, I'm not sure which, but
you know what?
I actually just I went head first in that. I for 2 months I was looking for a job. I couldn't find it. I was down to my blowing through my savings again, and I went down to my last $250. I went to Fabian and said, "Look, man, we barely worked with each other. I just did some timing testing on the Geth client in early 2016, like real early, because I bought Ethereum at $2 because I didn't have any Bitcoin to buy the pre-sale wallet, because I'd never owned crypto in my life before that. He was like, yeah, within 48 hours later, I'm on my way to New Jersey with a car that's barely hanging in there. It's an old ass car, 2003, and I got all my stuff in the back. I had to find somebody to babysit the cats because I didn't have anybody who could watch the cats that I had at the time. And I left. I just went to New Jersey and met some folks that I never worked with again, never met before, named Animal Ventures, and they're great people. They're super awesome, super awesome experience. But I had to leave them because I couldn't deal with traveling for that much for a year when I'm that broke, and I only made 60 grand off of it. But it was enough to get me experience that I started a podcast. Then I went to work for a government contractor for a year. But everything I do is 100% in or 100% out. And every time it's way out of my comfort zone. Way out of my comfort zone. And I sold my house and I sold my car and I gave away my cats to move to New York City to build Avalanche. Every time it's been a lesson that I would not give up for the world, including the company that almost bankrupted me. It's just the only way to live. I don't understand how people don't live that way. I just can't fathom the idea of being stable. Does that make sense? I'm going crazy right now because I don't have anything to do. I don't understand stability. I don't have any ideas that I think will be productive enough in the world to make it valid to do it. I have a lot of tiny ideas, but who gives a shit? The arena is the best idea I've seen in a while, and I definitely went all in on that. I put in over $1 million into the arena. This is something that I personally believe in, and it could be great, but things like market timing are kind of the issue. Absolutely. So really, we just got to survive in the arena.
And adoption.
Oh, yeah, but adoption's kind of interesting. When the market's hot, it's pretty easy to convince people to adopt just about anything. But when the market's low, it's actually really, the fact that there's some growth on arena is huge, considering that everybody's super depressed, right? You're here. You weren't here a month ago.
Not everybody. I'm happy. I feel for people. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I honestly, it's, I can see it in your face. I can hear it in your voice, Colin. If you ever need to fucking just chat with somebody, I'm here for you, brother. Not to get fucking, mushy or anything, but dude, Jeff, anybody, anybody in the community, I've had people reach out in our community and just, fucking want to chat with me. I always got time for people, fucking, it's just, we gotta be, you gotta be there for people through these rough times, man. We'll get through this. Like I said, there is a light at the end of this tunnel. There has to be, if everything goes to shit, if the dollar goes to shit, through inflation and devaluation of the dollar, if gold keeps going and silver keeps going down and Bitcoin and crypto and freaking jobs keep, shrinking and, all these things keep on, solar flares go off. It's we got bigger things to fucking worry about. So
yeah, and by the way, if solar flare goes off, you're not caring about the price of Bitcoin.
No,
the entire world is dead. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these are the arguments, by the way, I've had to field for the past, like, I guess 2017 to now. I guess it's been, fuck, I can't do math, 8 years that I've been deep in this space. And like, going on, I guess, fucking 9 years. So like solar flares, like these end of the world narratives drive me fucking crazy in crypto. Absolutely crazy. Because it's like, what if there's a fucking zombie apocalypse? Let's see how good your Bitcoin is then. Okay, let's see how good your fucking dollar is then, you dipshit. Like, it drives me crazy. Like,
let's see how good of a chef you are. If you lose your hands, we can live in a world of what ifs.
It's just like,
all right, Jeff.
What do you say about the Epstein stuff that's coming out with Bitcoin? Yeah.
No, but Jeff, I want to give you a chance to talk because I very rudely, as usual, cut you off earlier. Please. Go. Tell me to shut up if I interrupt you again.
No, I wanted to ask you about, so I had to work with the team of white hat hackers to recover my airdrop from Linea. And what they did was worked with the consensus team to freeze the wallets at the sequencer level, is what they said. So they had a list of wallets that were compromised and hacked, and the team worked with, I guess, Consensus or the Linea Foundation, and they had these wallets frozen so that no funds could move between them. And I wanted to ask you about that. Like, I didn't know that was a possible thing. So
yeah, there's blacklists.
Okay.
But you can't when you say compromised, do you mean your private key was compromised, or?
So it was connected to a DApp that got hacked.
So here's the thing. Go ahead, Jay. Sorry,
yeah.
Jay.
So I reached out to the team like after it happened, and in their Discord they were saying how, I forget what project it was. It was like 2 years ago, but they were like, "Oh, our site was compromised and hacked, and we are putting through security patches and shit." But then a few weeks later, the team was ghosted. Like, they just were quiet. I reached out to a few other people that had their wallets compromised. So I don't know exactly if the seed phrase but
the wallet. So remember, you're speaking to a customer service representative who speaks to abject retards on the day. And they don't, one, customer service representative doesn't always know the truth, right? Two, a lot of the people they talk to can't understand the truth. Like, you know what I mean? And so when they say things like, we blocked the wallet, if they have that private key can make transactions. But there are things like, was it like blacklist Bitcoin and stuff like that? I forget what it's called. Where if those that money will not be accepted at anywhere an exit for money is. And a lot of people won't accept them as payment on the network because it doesn't pass the test of being a legitimate piece of, like, a legitimate coin, because it got flagged. That wallet that it interacted with got flagged as, like, for instance, fraud, right? So there's a lot of things out there that people don't know, like, because they don't enter. Who can lift that?
Whoever put the blacklist or whoever flagged that in the system, right? They can.
Yeah, but like, good luck.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's what. So there's flash bots. They're called flash bots, and you have to submit, a request for them to work with you, and your airdrop or whatever has to be over a certain amount, and they get a certain percentage. And I've recovered like 3 or 4 airdrops with them before, but this one, they had like hundreds of people that they were working with, and they said that because I noticed a bunch of microtransactions that the hacker was trying to do on my wallet, and they weren't going through because these Flashbots team and the Linea Foundation, I guess, they put all these wallets on a blacklist so that nothing can be moved between them in order for them to save the airdrop.
Yeah.
Right. So once they had everything ready to go, I guess each wallet, they maybe lifted they reversed the blacklist on each wallet and then moved the airdrop out to a safe wallet and then sent me my
I'm really having a hard time understanding who's custodying these keys.
It's so the team is,
because you can have tainted Bitcoin, tainted Ethereum, all that stuff, and that I don't think like Consensus is going to randomly. I don't even think Consensus owns that process. There's a whole nother. I don't even know. Probably Chain and somebody has a way of like basically like I'm not that deep on that side. That's the financial side. That's the security risk side. I'm Consensus protocols. Like that's what I know. And like. To me, I have a hard time like understanding who custodied these keys, who's doing the blacklisting, who told you.
So I did a bunch of research after I got hacked to try and figure out what I could do to save my future airdrops, and I came across this group called Flashbots, and it's a group of white hat hackers that help save. You know, they run I guess bots to help front run transactions, because some of these wallets, if they get compromised, the hackers will put a sweeper bot on your account. And if you try and put any gas tokens on a network, they'll sweep it off immediately. My wallet that was compromised didn't have that. So I was able to move some stuff out of there after I got hacked. But this Flashbots team, when you put in a request, you have to fill out all these forms, and then they'll reach out to you and they have to verify that, you know, this is your wallet, and you have to give them your seed phrase. So that way they can put a bot on to get your airdrop out. Right. And so all these wallets that the Flashbots team had, I guess they took to the Consensus or the Linea Foundation, whoever actually has the ability to blacklist. I guess they worked with them and gave them access to all these wallets to lock it down, or I don't know how that whole process works, but yeah.
I mean, are you trying to accomplish something? I'm confused. Like, what's the? Are you just telling a story, or is this like I'm trying to solve a problem? Every time somebody tells me something, I think I'm trying to solve a problem. So like I'm just making sure that like there's no call to action here.
I didn't know that they were able to.
I think what
wallets,
Jeff's trying to say, correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff. I think what he's trying to say is he had an incident where his wallet got hacked, and he got hold of some white hat hackers and was able to, you know, they were able to use bots and things like that to where when he got airdrops that was attached to that wallet, they were able to front run those airdrops and get that for him. And so I think what he's asking you, Colin, is go, Jeff.
About the freezing of the wallets.
Like
you can't, at the sequencer level.
At the sequencer level?
That's
what chain is this on?
It was on Linea.
I don't know what Linea is.
It was layer 2 developed by Consensus.
Okay.
That made MetaMask, right?
Okay.
And they had an airdrop, and it was like about $1,000. That
if it's a layer 2, it's centralized. They can do whatever the fuck they want. Yeah. Layer 2s are garbage. Like the reason you join a layer 2 is because I actually don't know. And Albert's in chat here, and he's a fan of layer 2. I don't agree with layer 2s. So, like, to me, I'm like, yeah, they probably could freeze your stuff because they own the chain and they own all the transactions that happen on there, and they have their own system, and they might have a wallet blocking mechanism built into their chain. I don't know. Layer 2s are centralized databases, guys. Like
they're two separate chains.
Yeah, they're not. It's like they're databases. They're
Databases.
they're well, so are blockchains. So I guess I shouldn't correct you, but like literally a blockchain is just a replication protocol for a database. That's all it is. Like it's master replication all over across. It's but like layer twos are.
Hold on, real quick in the chat. I'm 90% sure the answer is no to this, but Linea isn't on base, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't think so. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, there's really nothing special about blockchains, and like there's something special about Bitcoin and Nakamoto consensus. ETH 2.0's consensus is hokey, but it does work for them. There's Solana's consensus is busted as hell. But these are all replication protocols. We call them the consensus protocols in the field of computer science. But it's just replicating transactions across all databases. Like it's literally a way of agreeing what the current state of a database should look like. And you have the same thing on MySQL. When you have like master slave, master replication on MySQL, same shit. So like for the purpose of what you're saying, if there's one sequencer, for instance, somebody just pointed out to me Mega which I had heard of slightly off the top of my cuff. I mean, like off the side of my radar. It was Albert actually earlier. And I looked into Mega and it's just basically Kafka. It's got a centralized single node sequencer, and it's just blasting transactions through in a stream and ordering them and resolving conflicts. So like I look at all this stuff and I go, these are just central databases. Why are they even pretending to be crypto? Like this is like if I was a regulator and I looked at that, I'd be like, this is illegal. But whatever. But then again, like a lot of the stuff that goes on in this space is in a gray area of legality for regulators, and they're permitting it because they don't want to stifle innovation, and they know that their current legal hurdles are too much. But I look at things like Mega and I'm like, whatever. Anyway, but Linea, I don't know what their makeup is. I don't know who owned the nodes, but if they have quorum in the nodes, they can block all transactions. They can block anything they want. So Linea is probably, I would guess, if they were trying to pretend, they would have at least 5 nodes, and they all know who they are, or 21 nodes and they own a quorum and it's part of a cabal that. Yeah, but like on Ethereum, he couldn't do that. You know what I mean? Like. Much harder on Ethereum, much harder on Bitcoin, where you get tainted Bitcoins. That's the process for tainted Bitcoins. You prevent exits, you prevent entrance into any on and off ramp. But when it comes to like a layer 2, yeah, they could definitely block. Layer 2s are interesting. Might as well be PayPal.
Had my first ever lock on Aerodrome wiped along with Moonwell, Morpho, and Virtuals.
Oh, that sucks.
Removed permissions, rocking same base wallet because I had other locks. DeFi unaffected and stuck. At risk of sweeper bots still, you think? No signs.
Well, there's David, why are you and Matt in the chat and not in the show? I've sent you both the link. What the fuck? If you got the time to be in the chat, you got the time to be in the show.
And my wallet still doesn't have any sweeper bots on
Maybe they don't want to put on a shirt.
Or pants.
Or pants.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Some people don't.
But anyway, I think that's probably what happened there, man. I would have to look up what Linea did on the back end. Like I can Google it real quick.
Goggle that shit.
Their back end antics.
Nice. It's a ZK EVM roll up. Interesting. Click. Okay.
So Matt says that he doesn't want to jump on because he doesn't have a shirt on. I said, we can all take our shirt off if it makes you more comfortable. I'll take my pants off too. You can't see.
Hey,
I'll sit here in the buff. I don't care.
You look like Kevin O'Leary, man, with his he's got the top of the suit on, but then he's got his boxer.
Well, you want to know a funny story? Is in the Marine Corps, like if you ever known anybody in the Marine Corps, they always got that boot camp photo up on the wall. Have you ever seen that one? They call it the cunt cap. Or no, sorry, that's the Army. That's my other boot camp. They basically all it is it's a cut off dress blue uniform, and it has like Velcro on the back of the neck. They just drape it over your shoulders, Velcro it in the back, throw a hat on, click next, and then there's like 2 or 3 people with those on, and it's like a conveyor belt. They're just like snap, snap, snap. It's all done in like fucking 45 minutes, and you're back out there getting smoked and beat to shit.
Yeah, let me show you this. So I'm gonna send you this in the private chat. I don't know if maybe I could just share the screen.
DeFi Don, when does the racist stuff start? That's on Thursday, brother. That's on Thursday. We bash all.
No,
races.
Total Tool's gonna be on Thursday, so he's gonna be real chill. He's a nice guy, actually. You'll really like him. You'll like him. He's less radical than I am. Well, in a lot of ways, he's more radical, but I think he's a lot more palpable. So anyway,
I don't know anything about him. Colin,
he's a good guy.
No, he seems like a really cool guy. But I invited him to be on the show on Thursday, so you're gonna see a new face on Thursday. I'm sure Colin will be here if he's gonna be here.
He's perfect for the red pill.
Perfect.
He's perfect for the red pill. That's what I recommended him for. He's the red pill guy. Like he's also he's the kind of guy who'll just be like talking to me like randomly like, yeah, and I saw a demon. I had a demon possess my house one day. He's funny like that, but he's also pretty. You would not notice when you talk to him at first. You're just like, huh? That came out of your mouth?
Hold on. I want to tell you what I want to turn the red pill into. It's not. I mean, I want it to have fun and stuff, but honestly, at the root of it, what I envision for the red pill. David, what's up, brother?
What up, David? I'm sharing the screen, by the way.
Well, what I envision for the red pill is I would love to have differing opinions on topics, and everyone present their case in a logical, well-reasoned way, not conjecture and not talking over each other, just basically a quorum of people with very differing views talking about a topic, but only using facts and logic, not emotions, because you see that a lot. And because I think that is immensely valuable, being able to bridge that gap between left, right, middle, gay, straight, religious, not, whatever. That is what the world fucking needs right now.
Yeah, it is. And there's not a lot of left on here. But all right, so anyway.
No, but DCA and Prey, the reason I say it
the most closest to left we had was Gina.
DCA and Prey is very vocal, and he's in the chat. Me and him have a mutual respect for each other, at least on my end. He seems to be very left-leaning. He's very bearish. I'm very bullish. He's very bearish. I'm very right-leaning. He's very left-leaning. But we respect each other and have very respectful discussions. I would love to have him on the show, actually. I'm assuming it's a he. I don't mean to misgender you, DCA.
I know, you should probably use they or something.
Right?
They. Zer, Zim. Anyway, all right. Yeah, I'm fucking done with that. Anyway, let's not. Like, I am fucking tired of that. Did you see the Epstein thing where they were cooking how to transition 3-year-olds? Like,
dude.
Yeah. Yeah, they were. Anyway. And they were just like, fucking Goyim will eat this shit up. Anyway,
there's one guy in my group in the DeFi U, and he always texts me this stupid bullshit. And he sent me this thing saying that Jeffrey Epstein was actually Satoshi. He was the one who created.
Yeah, no, that's not true. Anyway, that's so dumb. Yeah. All right. So, hey, Jeff, I just want to point something out real quick, and then we can stop this share screen stuff. Remember when you said they were going to block it on the sequencer side? I want to point out this architecture diagram to you. Okay, so you can technically block it on RPC nodes, okay? But that's a lot harder because there's probably a lot of those. There's a central point right here. Do you see this point of centralization? It's called the Linnea sequencer. All right. And I want to point something else down here. Under the sequencer point, it says with further decentralization efforts components such as the sequencer may be redesigned to consider. See what I mean? They know it's a point of centralization in an extreme degree. Okay, so this is where they block transactions. And so that's what I was trying to say, is that basically they have their own system. So yes, they can block transactions. And all these layer 2s are centralized pieces of shit. So to quote Vitalik, basically. So like this is just crap.
So if you think they're all centralized pieces of shit, what do you think about the AVAX seed chain? Isn't that just a layer 2 also?
No, it's a layer 1. Oh, first off, let me explain the architecture of Avalanche, okay? So Avalanche has 3 chains. Platform chain registers validators and pays out, and delegators, and that's about all it does, right? It just says, hey, you can run a validator. It's the platform chain. It's just there to say, hey, I'm a validator. Hey, I'm going to delegate to this validator. Cool, here's your payments. It also has things like warp messaging, I believe, goes through the P chain, stuff like that. But it's basically your process chain. Then we have the X chain, highly parallelizable, UTXO-based, extremely fast throughput chain, okay? But not going to handle smart contracts because smart contracts require total ordering. And this is a partial ordering chain, which is why it's fast throughput, okay? Next, you have the C chain. And all these are bundled under the Avalanche chain. The C chain just runs the EVM, okay? All the validators validate the C chain. All the validators validate the X chain. All the validators also validate the P chain. It is extremely decentralized in that respect because we can have on Avalanche like hundreds of thousands of validators working on validating at the same fucking time. Okay, the only other chain that can do that is Bitcoin. All right, so the C chain is not a layer 2. It is part of the
real quick. Ellie and Jay, if you guys need to bail, Ellie, set up your stream to game, and like as soon as this is over, I'll jump over if you guys don't have a third. But yeah, definitely start up that stream.
Cool.
Sorry,
so that's actually what I'm going to call it is I'm going to call these like part of the layer 0 package. Okay. Technically P chain's more the layer 0. Okay. And C chain is kind of a layer 1 on the layer 0. The layer 0's only job is to register potential validators. All right. But all the other like custom chains you build, any validator from the whole P chain validator set can validate those chains. It's going to be operating under the same Avalanche consensus protocol. And there's actually a swappable mechanism to choose the flavor of Avalanche consensus protocol, be it Snowman, base Avalanche. These are all available. Any sort of like little tweaks to that are in the package can be validated by anybody who is a validator on the P chain, which means you have a potential suite, if there were, hundreds of thousands of validators to validate your layer 1 if you incentivize them correctly. So when you launch a layer 1, you're inheriting the whole validator space up here, and they can all hop on and validate your layer 1 for whatever reason. And that's the whole innovation behind Avalanche, right? They're not layer 2s, but you do need a sufficient number of validators on your layer 1 to make it decentralized. So you have to incentivize people to come to your chain. And that's sort of the trick. So we don't need like Linnea. The reason Ethereum needs Linnea and Mega Eth is because Ethereum is dog shit fucking slow. And so in order to compensate for that, they created all these hokey tools in layer 2s, which are centralized databases, to process transactions faster and bundle them up with proof to the regular Ethereum chain on regular check-ins so that they can actually like have some semblance of actual throughput. But it's all bullshit because these layer 2s are just databases. You might as well be running off of Coinbase. So my opinion on this, in fact, you're better off running off of Coinbase, sans the transaction fees.
Never Coinbase, man. Oh.
Why? So ask yourself why, and then ask yourself about these layer 2s, right?
Well, the reason why is everything is reported, and you don't have any control over how it's reported. So I really don't like that.
Well, let's just all right, fine. Legal reason, fine. Okay, understood. That is a valid legal reason. But I'm trying to say from a transactional standpoint, you actually get more safety guarantees on Coinbase than you do on any layer 2.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I just think to myself when I look at AVAX, like, dude, I would buy AVAX at $5. So like all the technical complexity that you're talking about, you're right. I have no argument with you, Colin. But for price, dude, AVAX looks like it goes to $5 in my opinion. So I'd pick it up down there.
Everything looks like dog shit right now. I capitulated. Like I actually was very optimistic yesterday, but after a conversation today, I'm not. So
I want to ask David about this. Canton looks fucking. I think, with the market, the way that it fucking looks, and we were me and Jeff were trying to bring this up earlier. Are you able to bring up a Bitcoin Canton pair so that we can see how Canton is moving relative to Bitcoin?
So the problem, Mike, with Canton is that you've got like a couple weeks of data. So
gotcha.
Very, very little data.
Gotcha.
But another thing here is, like, dude, I don't really have any window into what they're actually doing. Like Canton Network, I know that you've shared a couple of tools, Mike, that give you.
Yeah. No, please be honest, as always.
Yeah, I know that a couple of tools like give you a semblance, like an idea of like what they're actually doing.
Yeah.
But I believe that Canton and Connexus together are like JP Morgan Chase's private walled garden, and they plan to migrate some of their repo book onto those chains.
Well, they already have. The majority of what you see in TVL is repos. And those that don't know what repos are, they're basically short-term loans for institutions. But go ahead, David.
Yeah. So, they're going to, what I read is that over the next 24 months, they're going to move up to 15% of their repo book onto those two chains. I just don't know what that means for the CC token. And also the bigger problem for me is those synthetics. So I took a look at that Braun wallet, Mike. And for you to be able to hold the CC token, you're not actually holding anything on chain. It's just it's not.
No, because it's on ETH mainnet because I had to pay with ETH for gas fees.
Yeah, it's just like a synthetic, and I wouldn't be able to hold that. I wouldn't want to hold that. So a couple of things. I don't know enough about the Canton network and how it generates cash flow and where that cash flow goes. Number two, I don't know if that cash flow accrues to the token. Number three, I don't know if the token is inflationary or deflationary or what.
Well, you got to watch the channel, man. I answer some of those.
Well, so if you want to talk about the price, man. Look, the pattern, that really nice cup with handle pattern, it broke out. But if you take a look at the chart, man, I can just take a look at it on my end just real quick. It was a really nice breakout, but there is a level of support there that needs to be held. And it's like on the cusp of breaking. So basically where CC is trading now, if it rolls a little bit further to the downside, if it gets down to like 16.5 cents, that would be a really clear breakdown and rollover. And so it wouldn't necessarily invalidate the cup with handle pattern, but yeah, man, just too little data.
Tell you something you're not going to want to hear. They're running what is essentially the thing that got struck down in the courts. They're running Libra effectively. Now, they're using a BFT algorithm, but I don't know which one. But let's just say it's the same as Cosmos to give them a benefit of the doubt. They would be capped, which is effectively hot stuff, which, by the way, the principal architect of Avalanche wrote hot stuff, which is the same thing that is basically Tendermint, which with high parallelization, running on pipelining, I guess, it's just an academic version of that, right? A actual academic version of that. Max nodes for max throughput is 100. Not even max throughput. That's actually diminished throughput because it does scale ON2, I think. And I think view changes might even be 04. So basically, if you look up Canton, they're super validators on their global infrastructure. They're vetted for institutional grade reliability and approved via governance votes. In other words, they are effectively Libra. Remember Libra?
And so that was the Facebook coin that
The Facebook coin. Yeah. It's effectively that, which they did not go through with for a lot of very good reasons.
Well,
so
didn't that become Sui and Aptos?
And Aptos,
the team? Yeah.
Team split.
So I don't think it became that. It just probably is they adopted the technology. Like Sui's running hot stuff. Yeah. And like this is like the problem I have is like what are our goals here? Why do we consider
I want to dig a little deeper on something that you said. You said it was like Linea and they didn't go on with Linea for a reason. What is that reason?
Libra.
Sorry. Not Linea.
The reason is that it's I think it was because because of the truth told. It's because it was a pay-to-play money mechanism that had a limited number of people that could join it, and it was effectively like US dollar kind of competitive system when they had that many high-ranking members, but also because it wasn't actually decentralized and was completely and totally in every way, shape, and form an actual security. So it didn't meet commodity requirements in any way, shape, or the form.
And I want to dial in on that again. I want to keep zooming in on this because I want to make sure that we're the stuff.
It didn't pass the Howey test, that's for sure.
Well, no, but that's what I want to get at here is I want to make sure that the statements that we're making that we can back them with facts, data, not just our opinion. That's the environment that we're trying to build.
Well, let's double check my memory on this because I have a terrible memory.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
No, I'm not. I'm actually doing this for your benefit because you asked why was Libra shut down.
So because there is a ruling by the SEC, not ruling, but a statement released by the SEC that they anything that is a security before it's tokenized is a security after it's tokenized. Anything that's not a security before it's tokenized, it is not a security after it's tokenized. Makes perfect fucking sense. You would think it wouldn't take with an 18-pound head to figure that shit out.
Yeah, Project's demise was by several critical factors. Monetary sovereignty concerns, like I said. Trusted privacy, honestly, that could be, that was just political. Political kill accusations. Former David Marcus research, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen wanted to get rid of it, and Jerome Powell were against it. Jerome Powell, of course, aligned with what? Fed, which is aligned with what? US dollar. Key loss of partners under political pressure. But basically they went the technology works, but we're concerned about the fact that Facebook is running it. We're concerned about the fact that it could be a potential like hostile takeover of the US dollar, and we're concerned that it is in fact unquestionably a security if it's got that much common interest involved in it and common enterprise, and it's run by one organization. We don't want that. So,
no. From like a crypto purist standpoint, yes, I can see why you wouldn't like Canton Network. It's very institutionalized.
I'm talking about Libra.
Oh, Libra. Sorry. Well, one thing I do want to address, and sorry, I got a little bit of a buzz, and I'm trying to work the chats at the same time. These guys, it's somebody new to the channel. They're saying these guys trying to sell you pump and dump cryptos.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Buy my crypto, bro.
Exactly. No, we are exactly the fucking opposite of that. We are blunt. We're to the point. Anything, and I'm bullish on Canton. I'm asking Colin, who's obviously not, to explain to me why. I'm asking David.
I haven't talked about Canton at all.
Well, no. But you were talking
except for the fact that I was checking what their consensus protocol was, which is a technical question.
But you said it's like, and then David. I was asking David.
But some technical analysis on CC.
Because that's his forte. I want to pick apart things we're bullish on. This isn't an echo chamber. This is a fucking channel where we find people that are going to pick this shit apart. I don't want
Mike,
to invest biggest, in I'm not willing to invest in.
No, for sure, man. The biggest thing for me when it comes to CC is that there's 3 weeks of data. Like I can't touch that, like I can't even.
How did it
think
even
about
pump that much in 3 weeks is the question.
It's just a bunch of bullshit,
logical,
I think.
That's logical. Your basis, your way of thinking is logical. I can respect that. I'm buying it. I'm bullish, but it doesn't mean you have to be. You're looking at the charts. That is how you formulate your point of view.
Yeah.
Colin, he has a deep understanding of these crypto projects and the tokenomics.
Technicals. The technicals, not the tokenomics as much, but the technicals I definitely the technology.
Exactly.
And it takes me like I don't know the new stuff. I kind of phased that, but it's the same principles. Nothing's changed. Nothing new has happened. Nothing interesting has happened since Avalanche. It's all been the rehashing of the same shit. PBFT protocols, hot stuff / Tendermint, and Nakamoto's on its way out. The only thing running really Nakamoto right now is Bitcoin. And then you got the only unique thing out there, which is Avalanche, and they got a patent on that for 20 years. So literally, like, this is the space is solved, in my opinion.
But what matters more, really great tech or user adoption? What's more
user
important?
adoption?
Yeah.
And so the problem I have is like, okay, who's the user? And if you're going to say that the government is going to use Ethereum, you're out of your fucking mind. They're not using Ethereum. If you want to say the government's using Canton, you're out of your fucking mind. They're not using Canton. They're not.
Why do you say
Why
that?
won't they use Canton? Because you could probably only have about 21 to 100 nodes.
I'm not saying.
Hold on.
Okay, so you think from a technical perspective because
Colin and
there's
David
only
going
a
at
couple of this is
because the
great,
decisions aren't made by liquidity. Liquidity will come when the government comes. The reason that the government makes these decisions is because the reason that the government is making these decisions the way that they are, the governments will make these decisions the way they are, is because ultimately what they're not looking for isn't the same as money, because they can print all the money they fucking want. What they want is resilience. And the only thing that offers resilience, the only two things, is Bitcoin and Avalanche. And Bitcoin is not fault partition tolerant. In other words, if the C cables are cut, Bitcoin gets fucked. So, like, Avalanche will not be fucked. And so this is the...
Let's talk about Bitcoin, Colin, because the more that I've learned about Bitcoin, really over like the last 6 months, man, the more I view it almost like an extremely decentralized meme coin. There are like, 400 million holders of BTC. Like 99.9% of them don't actually use it at all because Bitcoin is digital gold, don't you know? But the miners, the miner business model, that's the biggest problem for me, because like what happens over the next 1 or 2 halving cycles? Like those miners, the only way it makes any sense at all to be a miner and to buy the machines and refresh them every couple of years is if you have free electricity. Mm-hmm. And so if you don't have free electricity, you still got to refresh those machines. What happens when everyone is just holding Bitcoin because they think they can turn around and sell it tomorrow to someone for a higher price?
You don't need free electricity. You need to factor in the fact that electricity is baked into the price.
I don't think it is.
And so, like literally, if demand for Bitcoin is high enough, it'll pay for the machines, right? But if the demand is low, so in other words, like,
but the
you don't need new miners.
So horrible. The miner business model is horrible. What happens after 2 more halving cycles?
So what you're saying is that there will be centralization of miners even further than it already is.
I think there is
too. I agree.
There's not enough transaction volume on the Bitcoin main network, and also it's slow as fuck. Like, have you ever tried using it? It's
60
slow.
minutes to confirmation. It takes 10 minutes for a block to get in, and then you need 6 confirmations. So it's about 60 minutes to confirmation. But that's by design, by the way.
Right, but you can't do anything with it, though. There's no smart contracts on the Bitcoin main net. That you can't actually do any DeFi with Bitcoin. So there's really no use case for it. It's not digital gold, obviously. We've seen that.
Correct.
So, people say store of value, but try telling that to someone who bought Bitcoin at 126K. That is a great store of value. Like, good luck.
Well, wait, we've had this conversation over and over and over and over and over again. Every time it goes down, we have this same fucking conversation. So, like, the question is it a store of value? Only if there's demand for that value. Now, who can drive that demand? Governments absolutely can drive that demand. If the government decides that they're going to support Bitcoin, it will be permanently supported. And a lot of small governments have done this. Now, it is a funny way to starve a small government if they all get convinced to do this, and then we decide to tank Bitcoin. Suddenly we're owning El Salvador. Yeah. or is it Ecuador? El Salvador, then like, yeah, I think Bukele is going to be a little pissed. But the point is
Yeah.
the point is that like this is kind of like you're seeing the flaws already in their consensus protocol. Okay, this is why we designed Avalanche the way we did. You know, this is why it's important still. Even though people don't like the technical side of things, a government is not going to look at Bitcoin and go, this works. A government would look at Avalanche and goes, this works, because it fucking works. The only problem with Avalanche is the staking. When you can have a centralized amount of stake, and that will enable you to take control of the network. But that requires a huge amount of money at the moment.
Let me interject here. I want to start a new line. So basically, somebody in the chat said, and this is something that I've always wondered. And you two, David and Colin, you know, you guys are the fucking 18-pound heads in the room. So Crypto Steve-O, very smart dude. We don't always agree, but he brings up a valid point. Bitcoin could be in big trouble over 10 years from now as the miners get half of what they did 4 years ago.
Right.
And if the price doesn't go way up accordingly. So what happens with Bitcoin? Like, say at some point for an extended period of time, fucking mining Bitcoin is not profitable. You're losing money by mining Bitcoin, and people stop mining it. And the network, I mean, the way I understand it, that's what secures the network. If they're not doing that, what happens to fucking Bitcoin?
The Bitcoin network still will be secured.
Okay. No. I'm just telling you what the narrative is.
Just to be clear, like you can't fake hash rate. Like you can't fake the amount of transactions it takes. The hash power adjusts due to demand. It goes up into. Let me finish. It goes the hash rate will adjust due to demand for the hash rate. If the hash rate is lowering, then they can't it'll lower.
That's too technical. Most people out there, I mean, crypto people will understand that. I try to. You can ask David. I'm constantly
right. Well, I'm answering it generically.
Well, but most people
Colin,
don't understand what hash rate is and stuff like
so
that.
Instead of thinking about hash rate, why don't we just focus on like, do the mining companies make money? Like, if these companies don't make money, then they're not going to keep the machines on.
Right, but stop. Here's the thing. The hash rate determines whether or not they make money. If they're not making money, some companies will shut down, and then the concentration of the hash rate will come from less people. The hash rate will go down.
Profitability.
There's something called guys, I really want to answer your fucking question, but I got to be given an opportunity. Okay.
Well, but hold on. But you need to dumb down your terminology. Like, you are so.
I am trying to, but
you gotta go like 50% Somali. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm doing all right. All right. So listen. All right.
I want you to get your point out, Colin. It's just that we need to make sure that the widest range of people understand what you're saying.
Okay.
So Colin, how do you
the number of miner
channel Elon Musk.
Motherfucker. Let me talk. Okay. Number of miner go down, difficulty to produce block go down. More miner, less miner, more miner get more block.
Okay, so here's the reason why.
because I don't know how else to put that.
Here, Colin, let me help you out. So,
it adjusts. It handles that.
The more hash rate you have chasing those block rewards, then
the less rewards more miners get. You have to invest more in the technology, and then as people invest less, the difficulty goes down, and then literally they just get more rewards.
Here's the missing piece, though.
You just summarized it perfectly.
Yeah, but the only way that continues to work is if number go up over time. Like, bro, what happens if...
No, that's not true.
I think it is, because...
That's not true.
If there's another halving and Bitcoin is languishing at 10K at the end of this bear cycle, and then there's another halving and it doesn't rally, that's the end, man.
Isn't the current price to mine one Bitcoin like 72K right now?
To mine one, I think it depends. It depends on how much
like
you're paying for
geographically where
electricity.
they're at, because it's cheaper to, power wise to be in China as it is the US. And, but yeah, I mean, but as an average, it isn't it like, I thought I read somewhere, it's like 72K per Bitcoin to run miners.
I think it's a little bit less than that. I think it's around
Okay.
50, but
Okay.
let's say it's around 50. If you
I
gotta
could be way off, but there
yeah,
is.
yeah, but so Colin, if the price doesn't go up, and let's say by the end of this bear cycle, BTC is sitting at 10K. I don't think it gets there. Let's just say it hits 10K.
There will be less miners.
There will be many fewer miners.
Yes.
But at a certain point, they're all going to turn their machines off. Like, why would you continue to invest in new hardware and electricity and employees?
Because
and
the
all of the
difficulty will go
expenses?
down, so you don't need as difficult hardware.
Right, but it's a death spiral.
Why would it go down?
It's a death spiral.
Because it does by the protocol.
He's
the difficulty.
Right. Okay.
The protocol makes it easier the less the less miners there are.
Exactly.
So
No,
that's the hash rate.
You
The
can
hash rate
use
is the
that
number
word.
of.
It's not
So
a
guys,
forbidden word.
so
The
I've already
hash
explained
rate
Bitcoin
goes-
to my mom. Let me do
Right.
it to the audience,
Yeah.
since you don't think your audience knows how Bitcoin works.
Dude,
There's a math problem that's published to the world, okay? It's a really difficult math problem, but there's a million different solutions, okay? But it's still difficult to guarantee you get that solution if you just write it out, right? So it's easier to actually guess a bunch of random solutions and aha your way into one. So all these machines are doing when they mine is they're just guessing random numbers until they happen upon a solution, and then they get all the transactions they saw in that block for that thing, and literally like send it out to the network. The network then accepts it, and then people build on top of it. If you get 6 blocks built on top of it, it's basically canonically true, because it's impossible, almost impossible to reverse that. Now, there's a couple things you can do. You can make the number of confirmations increase, okay? Or you can lower the difficulty. And the difficulty is how big that number has to be in order to solve that math problem. And that's just something that's adjustable. And so, like, if there's less miners and you want to retain 10-minute block times, the difficulty backs off. And if there's more miners and you want to retain 10-minute block times, the difficulty increases. And it just happens per protocol.
Yep.
Colin.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Hold on. Single tier. That's what I'm talking about, brother. It's you just broke that down in such a way to where somebody that did not even know about crypto but had 2 brain cells to rub together would fucking understand. That's what me and David do on DeFi High every day. Is David is like the fucking Rain Man when it comes to fucking DeFi, and every once in a while, because I'm the old vet that has been hit in the head too many times, I'm like, David, what does that word mean?
So Mike, you see.
So let me talk to David's point, if I may, David.
You see in the chat though, Ver Hoofdfluffen. Which is a great screen name, by the way. Hoofdfluffen. So
I'm looking at the Arena chat. So
go ahead.
So she says, or he says, he says Bitcoin has a real use case. I want to know.
It does.
So Colin, what is the real use case?
Do you know how hard it is to transport $100 million worth of gold across to Europe?
Of course.
Right. Okay. Bitcoin is a way of transporting value with like very minimal overhead and easy acquisition. And so you can transport a tremendous amount of value in less than an hour. That's fucking incredible. Like, that's a use case. The fact it has high liquidity, the higher that liquidity, the higher amount of value you can transfer quickly.
Yeah,
and so banks do see this.
With a shitcoin like XRP too, though. You know?
That would fucking hurt XRP. That could potentially like make XRP go wild, right? Think about it like that. Like, if Bitcoin, the higher its market cap, the more valuable it is for the more valuable transactions can go through that market cap without causing a major disturbance in the force. Right now, you'll see people be like, 10,000 Bitcoin removed from point A to point B. But I want to remind you, in 2011, 2012, whatever, some guy paid for a pizza with 10,000 Bitcoin. Okay? So, like, this is why the more market cap is in Bitcoin, the less volatile it actually gets, and the higher amount of value can be pushed through this network, so you can make larger transactions overseas. This is why it's interesting for institutional adoption, and this is why they do want liquidity to go into this. However, I also think they don't want shitfucks like us owning it. So my personal take is they're trying to shake shitfucks like us out of it, and they're still not done.
Bro, honestly,
Jeff,
I view
really quick.
Like a
I've
really
been
decentralized
talking my ass off, and everybody, like Jeff, you have been sitting quietly as always in the top right-hand corner. Please give us some fucking input on something.
Oh, I'm learning a lot from these guys.
I'm learning a ton, but
My name's
So Nick
Jeff.
makes a good point in the arena chat. Nick says they trade OTC though to not affect price. Every time 10,000 Bitcoin move, the price is affected.
yeah.
It is.
Dig into that. Unless Jeff.
So
Yeah, but not
large
by much.
movements of capital from
Jeff,
one place to another
you
are
go for it.
noticeable on chain, and that does cause volatility on the chain. So people will go, is this person they're sending it to a hot wallet? Are they going to sell? Is this they ask all sorts of fucking questions, man. And the moment they do that, they go, okay, but who is that new person? Okay, let's do a chain analysis on this. You can't move a tremendous amount of money without people noticing. So the more that seems like the more the money is in the chain, the less it affects volatility, and the less volatility, the less people freak out, and that means you could push more through the chain with a more stable value. We need Bitcoin to be 10 times what it currently is to be useful for institutions.
But we need more volatility, though. You see, after those ETFs, Bitcoin's vol went from like 65 or so percent all the way down to like 40%. Like we need the vol to get those big pumps. Volatility happens on the upside and the downside. And so after the ETFs,
but my point is we want to get to the point where there's very little volatility compared to all other things.
As the market cap grows, just mathematically, and correct me if I'm wrong, David, because I know you're a numbers guy, but mathematically, as the market cap grows, the less volatile the crypto market's going to be.
I would assume so. But not
because who's going to transfer $8 trillion worth of Bitcoin?
Exactly. It's just a sheer numbers thing.
Right?
If the market cap of crypto is like right now, it's just under 3 trillion. If it was 300 trillion, who is going to inject enough liquidity to do a fucking liquidate short or long?
But all I'm trying to get at here with this conversation around Bitcoin is that you can't tokenize anything on Bitcoin. No one uses Bitcoin to buy anything. Like, yes, it's a store of value, I guess, kind of, sort of. But like, yes, you can move value across borders, but you can do that with a lot of different cryptocurrencies. I just think moving forward that the real value is going to be in the chains like Avalanche or like ETH and its layer 2s, where you can tokenize real stuff and bring it on chain and then do all sorts of amazing financial engineering with it. And
I agree.
And my big problem with Bitcoin, though, is that you can't do any of that with Bitcoin. And
correct.
Yeah, that's really my big problem, is that it doesn't.
Which
really
is why
have
they were.
a
But
boost.
but I want to push back on that in one way. Okay, here's why. We do need a stable currency, and we need one that literally its only use case is slow transfer of money. The slower the transfer of money, the better it is for things like flash crashes and stuff. Okay, and that means that we if you ever read the Flash Boys 2.0 paper, they make this point. I talked to Phil. Fucking hell, I forget his name. The guy behind it. Anyway, he made the clear point that you actually want slower. Slower is better for massive market resilience, and that was one of his argument. Because you can see things before they're there, and like you can kind of prevent MEV from being damaging in
Kind of
that
like
way.
future crime.
Yeah, a little bit, but like it actually is significantly better for overall market health in the entire markets is if you have something slower. The problem is Bitcoin is not partition tolerant. That is the one flaw that will kill Bitcoin one day.
So Colin, is your point that Bitcoin would be used almost like a treasury asset? Like it would be the US Treasury of the digital age?
I mean, it's basically a Fort Knox already, and it's auditable unlike Fort Knox. So I'm not saying it's digital gold, but it is an excellent way to, for instance, convert gold to Bitcoin and send it. As long as the volatility is low enough, okay, which requires a huge infusion of cash into Bitcoin, it actually does do that job. But the problem is, and I'm going to hammer this, you guys said, it has a critical flaw in its design, in that it is not partition tolerant.
What does that mean?
It means that you can split the database into two different versions of the same database.
Is that kind of how we got Bitcoin Cash? Or that was a fork?
That's a hard fork. I'm not talking about that.
Well,
that was intentional. What I'm saying.
David's trying to goad you into is to define those things.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to. I'll say the word and then I'll define it. Okay.
Right.
So a hard fork is when somebody says, I'm going to freeze the chain at this point, and this is going to be the new starting point for my new software and my new validation mechanism, and all the balances on here are going to carry over to here, and we're just going to create something new over here. Okay, so they froze Bitcoin at this point and basically split into two different this happened multiple times. They all failed except for primary Bitcoin. Okay, that got to keep the designation of being the primary Bitcoin. What we found is that hard forks are cute, but they're not really like that good they're not good for anything. But a partition's far different. A partition is unintentional. A partition is when, for instance, the underwater wires between all of Asia and all of Europe get cut from the United States. And now the United States is mining at some hash rate locally, and Canada's doing it, and Greenland's doing it, and fucking El Salvador is doing it, and they're cut off from the rest of the world's internet. Now you have no way of broadcasting transactions other than, say, Starlink, which probably also will get cut, to the rest of the internet. So now you've got two different databases: the Asia-Europe database, probably with Africa, and then you got the United States, North America, South America database. Okay, this is a partition. This is when things went horribly wrong. And if you think that won't happen someday in the future, I will tell you, I do think it's like an 80 to 90% probability at some point there's going to be a critical conflict on the world, and that shit will happen. Sans any sort of additional technology that happens between now and then. So if we come up with new, like, quantum communication that doesn't require physical connection kind of shit, or moving satellites in the air becomes so easy that we have a whole infrastructure built around Bitcoin outside of what we currently have, like that would be potential. All these satellites being thrown up in the air from Japan, by the way, are interesting because each one of them could individually be a Bitcoin miner in some fashion. And they would also be self-powered with free electricity, running in space from solar power, and they could run hash rate. They could be hashing.
Colin, what's your favorite coin outside of AVAX? Like, what's your favorite project?
Ethereum, I guess.
Yeah.
I can't shit on Ethereum. I can't bring myself to do it. It's got problems. Don't get me wrong. When I say bad things about something, it doesn't mean I hate it. In the arena, but like
down the horn. I want to get final thoughts because I know Jeff probably needs to feed his cats, and I'm sure he wants to get some dinner. We all got. We've been going for 2 hours, so I got to get this at some point. So sure. Jeff, final thoughts on what we've talked about, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. It just we ran a little long.
Yeah, my pussies are crying outside.
Yes.
And my dick is running a little long.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, Wispy had the best comment. My block size is bigger than yours.
There you go. Colin,
yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, real quick, don't pay a lot of attention to the whole Bitcoin Epstein nonsense that's going around. That's all just fucking just stupid shit to distract people. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
Colin, final thoughts, brother.
Join the arena at arena.social.com. Or there's no.com, just arena.social. No, I think what's really I just want to say that I love I just want to close on why I was saying I like Ethereum, if that's okay. I think Ethereum started a lot of what we have today. And without Ethereum, I don't think we would have what we have today. It was the right thing at the right time. And they did it fast. And that means it wasn't perfect. And I don't think it could be corrected because you kind of paint yourself in a corner sometimes. But I do think it was the right thing. And I do think it was, and I do think, I just want to thank Vitalik and Fabian Vogelsteller and even Gavin Woods and everybody who was involved with that. Hell, Charles Hoskinson, you could get a nod too. Anthony D'Onofrio, Vinay Gupta, anybody who participated in the early ages of Peter Schlage. Thank you for keeping it all above. Anybody who participated in the early days of Ethereum, you know, I and anybody who keeps maintaining it to this day. I gotta say, you know, guys, I don't think I would be here if it weren't for you, and that's not an ass kissing thing. It's just the truth. So appreciate Ethereum, and I can never hate it. It's just what it is, you know.
So Colin, since you're done, Hapu says I can listen to Colin forever.
Of course you.
just throwing some love your way, brother. So David, closing thoughts.
Oh man, I've been in a long-term relationship with Ethereum for a while now. She's been very abusive, you know, always up and down,
but you like it rough.
Oh man, it's toxic as fuck. And you know, right now I think she's about to break down on me. So I'm looking at the chart, dude, and I'll pick up some more ETH at 1600. That's what I'm thinking. But long term, I really like Ethereum.
Okay. And you're seeing 16 as the next line of support?
I think 16. I think 1600 is the next support. I'll be loading up the truck at 1600.
And Avalanche is the most underrated technology on the planet.
Colin's bias, but okay. No. I'm not saying that it's like unwarranted. I'm just saying that
I could prove it, but you know, like,
so you know, he might have a little blood in the game.
Actually, I don't. Not anymore.
Okay.
Aside from maybe the arena, which is currently paired with it, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm capitulated. I'm not retarded. Right. I said technology, not token.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, and that's an important. Actually, that is probably one of the biggest pieces of alpha, very summarized, that I heard during this podcast. Was there is a difference between the fundamentals of a project and the tokenomics of a project. And this will be my closing thoughts because I want to dial in on this. You need to understand that the tech can be amazing. It can solve all in businesses. What they look at is what's called pain points, solving problems. If they see friction, if they see something like Amazon, you can get anything that you want that you used to have to drive to the store to get. It shows up on your fucking doorstep. That's how Amazon got big. They solved a pain point. And what you need to pay attention to is there's a difference between the fundamentals of these projects, what they are fixing, and the tokenomics, and how the revenue, and David taught me this, how the revenue and the profits that they make, how that translates to the token holder. Mm-hmm. So what is the benefit of actually holding that token other than it just being a baseball card that's just saying, I'm a fan of this project? That's what a lot of tokens out there are. It's smoke and mirrors that you're holding a baseball card because you are a fan of, or you're wearing the jersey of your team. That's basically it.
kind of like memes. Most tokens are essentially
You can
meme
actually
coins.
get stuff with this. Fuck you.
So that's my closing thoughts.
Sweet.
But gentlemen, as always, I love the fucking friction. I thrive off of it. This
man.
is what's
I
different.
think we're too honest for crypto, man.
I don't care. I'm not. Me and Jeff, we made the conscious decision to not monetize for that purpose. I don't care if we get shadow banned. I don't care. I want people to hear the truth. They'll find us. Fucking, it's just the way that it is. It's like if you speak the truth, people will find you. So anyway, till next time, Veteran Crypto out.
Peace.
Yeah.